The 10th of August, Rabbi Furst, Havos Halavovos.
This is going, you mentioned Rabbi 21st is coming up. Can you find the Zoom? So this morning we're continuing with Lavos
Your voice,
Heshbon. Excuse me?
your voice is muddled now.
Uh,
I mean, because you're walking.
Hold on, no, I probably have to pick another microphone 1 second. Tell me, is this better?
Oh, yeah, much better.
Yeah, okay. Just I switched the speaker, and so I have to. When I do that, it automatically hooks in with its microphone, which is not as good as the other one. So this is better now. Okay.
Oh, let's see.
Oh,
Let's see.
okay. Let's see. We want to put the document on the on the screen as well. Okay. How was your Shabbos?
Shabbos was good, thank God.
Okay.
How about you?
Yeah, fine. Very good. Baruch Hashem. Very nice. How's Yosef doing these days? He's doing well.
Yeah, he's doing pretty well. We had a big fight on Shabbos, but
Oh,
I think we resolved it. He
okay.
wants more money.
All right, that's that means he's a good employee.
Yeah, right. I had to put my foot down this time, so he didn't like that.
Uh, all right, look, yeah. So yeah, he's
I'm afraid I'm
it's
spoiling him.
uh
I
have
give,
to it's a delicate balance when you're trying to deal with that, I know.
yeah.
Um Not always so okay, here we are. Let's begin from the bottom of the first page of the document, the 24th Heshbon. Let's see, I think
The
Mayor's coming in too now.
24th, let's see, 24. Barbaim Esrim, got it. Uh, She Shetichashav im nafshecha v'tich va'ana al kol inyan. I don't know any of these words.
Okay. Shitikashev, you should consider im nafshik with yourself.
Oh,
Consider,
excuse me a second. I'm
consider.
sorry. Somebody's at the door.
Okay.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay. Good, good.
Morning, Mayor.
Shitikashev.
Good morning.
Ah, very good. Good morning, Mayor. How are you today?
Okay, Rabbi First.
Okay. Okay, very good. Okay, we're at the beginning. We're going to do a little review, starting again with the beginning of the 24th Heshbon and Ephes. She's chashev im nafshika. You should take account with yourself. Vinis ba'ana al kol inyan, and you should give thought to the whole subject matter. What is that? He hasn't even got to the point of it. What he's discussing yet. He will. He will.
Okay, Shani Sai Shav Etzla Ma'anini Yedi As Ha Elokim V'Toraso Udivrei Harishonim V'Chidush HaChachamim V'inyanei Hatafilos. Okay, so Shenischai shav. Is that to establish?
Well, to it's the same word as like like yashiv. Like yashiv is to sit. Yeshiva is a place of sitting, and so the you should etzlach. It should be well established. Etzla by you.
Established. You should sit on it. Should be well established by you concerning or with the subject that you know of Hashem and His Torah and the words of the first ones, and those who know wisdom, and the subject of prayer. Asher yadas me ace narosecha uvereshis gidolcha v'hatichlas lemodcha. That you know at the time of, I don't know this word, na'arosecha.
From anar is someone who's young, immature. So a person, when he's growing up, has certain impressions. He makes certain assumptions and postulates for himself certain principles, which he does with a non-mature mind. He's still young and inexperienced, not so knowledgeable, but yet a person inevitably, because human beings are thinking beings, we give thought to everything we experience, and a person, however, comes to the conclusions about certain things and we're talking specifically, we're talking about in terms of his his Yedias Elohim, his understanding of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Torah, also the understanding of his Torah, V'divrei Arishonim, and the words of those. Um, Now, again, as I mentioned when we first started this last week, the Sefer Havos Halavovos, it was written 1,000 years ago. So he's referring to Rishonim. When he refers to Rishonim, he's referring most likely to those of the Gemara, right? The personalities of the Tanoim and the Amoraim. So we grew up and we had an exposure when we were young to various different um, statements of Chazal and Chidus Chachamim are the concealed statements of the Chachamim in Yoni Tfilas and all the various different uh, words of the prayers. And a person, when he Asher Yedat Me'es Nerasecha, you've known these things from the time you've been young, right? Ubereshis Gadlacha, and at the beginning of your maturity, V'hitchilas Limudecha, and at the beginning of your learning. But he's going to point out now with those various different concepts which we constructed for ourselves when we were young, we have to be careful for having them remain with us when we get older, because now we have mature minds and we have the capability of reanalyzing things with the mature mind, and that's really what he's going to be urging us to do.
He soras ha'inyanim hakadim etzel mi she hachriso chalosha Aina kitzor sam etzel mi shehach raso chazaka. So since it's necessary in the matter of hadakim, I don't know.
Deep suras ha'inyanim hadakim, right? The impression that a person has from things which are complex. Dakim in this case can mean complex.
Complex. Eitzel, concerning one who that his knowledge. What is chalosha?
Yeah, chalosh is weak, right? Etzel is meaning the impression that a person has about things which are complex. For a person who his karasa is chalusha, his realization is he has a weak immature realization of things.
He is not what is Kutsor Sam?
That Ene kitsuros and etzumisha karasa hazaka. It's not the impression of a person whose understanding is weak about things which are complex are not the same impressions that a person has who has a strong understanding of those things complex.
V'chol asher tosif ha-karta ha-adam. With all that is added by a person. What is hakarat?
Akara is like you can use it's like a consciousness. A person's perceptions of consciousness, but that which a person is perceiving with a weak consciousness about something which is complex is not going to be the same impression that a person has about the same thing if he has a strong and developed consciousness and understanding and perception. Anything that was going to add to the perception of a person.
Yosef barur be in inyanim. He adds clearly to the subject. Al kain al tanuach dascha al ma shenitz tayar bilvad betachlis V'modcha min ha'inyanim v'ha'sufkim v'ha'sivaros ha'amokos. Therefore, uh, all of the what's tanuach?
The right. Al means here, and it means don't. Al means don't. Al kain, therefore, al tanua gdaitcha, al mashi itztayer belivcha betkilas lumdecha. Don't, therefore, do not rest. Tanuach means to rest, like Noach, right? Tanuach is don't let your knowledge rest upon what you have formulated in your heart at the beginning of your learning.
From this from the subject Hamisufkim, I don't know.
That that's from the word suffix. That's from those things which you have doubts about. Vesvoras hamukim and are amukim is are deep. Asvoros are have deep. They're deep. Conceptually deep. Sevoros are conceptually deep. So therefore, he's warning us that we should not. Yeah, we should not um, be satisfied and rely on those things which we came to conclusions um, early on in our learning. Um, Especially in those things which are doubtful and are conceptually complex or deep. We follow it there.
I'm just trying to reconstruct the flow of the paragraph. So when we're young, we will develop certain impressions about what we learn, but they'll be based on our immature minds. And so
Right.
when we get older, we need to, I guess, we need to rethink uh, our our understanding of the Torah principles that we learned when we were young, and reimagine uh, them in light of our maturity.
Right. Basically, that's the point. Meaning, in all these things, as you mentioned, like the ideas of the Kadosh Baruch Hu are our knowledge or impressions of the Kadosh Baruch Hu, and His Torah, and all those things which we learned, perhaps based on the statements of the Tanoim and Amoraim in the Gemara and Midrashim, and all those things which we learned in terms of our prayers. Right. So these things all should be reevaluated because the tendency, not the tendency, the fact is that when a person is exposed to these things young and his mind is not yet fully developed, So simply because of the fact that the person's mind is always active and it's doing what it's supposed to do, it's supposed to form certain impressions based on what it's experiencing, based on what it's taught, right? So, um, therefore, we should not rest um, and not want to reevaluate um, what we've been exposed to. Like one of my rebbeim told me, um, like we all in school were taught that 2 plus 2 is equal to 4, right?
Right.
Mhm.
So we all were taught that, we all accepted it. But he said from a certain perspective, right? The closest thing to 2 plus 2 should really be 22,
Uh-huh.
right? So if you take another look at what you were taught, right, you can come to different conclusions, and certain times it's necessary to reevaluate and to come to new and deeper and more mature understandings of what you were taught.
Right. Right. Aval
Okay,
aval roy lecha lechis chil be'es uh chozak shekulach v'hakartach le'ayin b'sefer Toras ha'elokim v'sifrei nevi ayo. But it's appropriate, it's proper for you uh, to begin at the time of your strength,
right. That it's that it's proper for you litchil to begin be'ez chizuk sichlecha chayzek, like the when you're right at the time when your seichel becomes stronger, when you develop a more mature, stronger mind, v'charasecha, your realization of karasecha is your realization of things.
uh, the ayin is your eye,
No, what I like when we say like ketosis, when you see tzorch ian, right? So
right?
tzorch requires further investigation, right? So you should investigate, you should analyze or delve into.
Investigate in the book of the Torah uh, of Hashem, uh, B'sifrei, uh, and the books of the prophets.
Right, right, right. The Sefer Torah Elikim, I mean that's referring to the Chumshei Torah, right? And then also the Sifrei Nevi'im. You have the Kesuvim and the Nevi'im. All these things are, we I'm sure we all think about it and we realize it. The words of the Torah and the Nevi'im and Kesuvim, these are Kadosh Baruch Hu's method of communicating with with humans, right? And so we're obligated to try and understand and delve into the messages and the things Hashem wants to communicate to us as best as possible, and that obviously should be done with a full, clear, and mature um, mind and attitude. And but again, based on the fact that we're taught things when we're young, inevitably we we've established certain things based on the immaturity of our minds and consciousness at the time when we were young. But at one point or another, it's time to grow out of that and begin a reevaluation.
Emi shelo lamad mehem os. Like the one that does not learn from them a sign.
Yeah, exactly. Mehem os. No, os is like even a letter. Like when we begin this reevaluation of our learning, the attitude we should take is we've never ever seen or learned even one letter, right, before, right, without any previous preconceptions, because any preconceptions we're going to have are going to be based on our uh, immature minds and attitudes, right? And we want to get up and away from that. So in order to do that, you have to be completely divorced from any preconceived notions.
Right. The targil atzmecha lif rasham ule uvaboram ule his bo nan belusam ubil shonam. Okay, I need help with this sentence.
Okay. So the targil atzmecha, so you should habituate yourself. Targil is targil is like an exercise. You should make yourself. It should be routine by you, or make yourself accustomed, or habituate yourself. Lefarsham, levarim, to lefarsham, to explain them. Ulevarim, to elaborate upon them. Lizbainain b'milosam b'lushanam, and to contemplate their words and their expressions.
Uma shesov los min ha'inyanim. And what is sovlos?
Uma sovlos min hanyan, and what can be borne out from their contexts.
Uma sheyesh mehem kifishoto, kipishuto, and what there is with them that is obvious.
Right.
Uma she'eno kipishuto, uma sheyesh mehem nir'eh, uma shehu mehem nistar. And what that is not obvious, and what that there is with them something that's revealed and something that is hidden. Uma kasha nimtsaos bo uma she'ein kasha nimtsaos bo. And what is kasha? What is difficult?
Right.
To
Meaning what? Umasha kasha nimsos, and what type of what type of difficulty is found there.
It's found. Okay.
Uma she'ein hakasha nimsus, and what difficulties are not found there. Meaning, when you should analyze what you're learning, right? The words of the Torah, whatever you're learning, and you should clearly demark for yourselves what what is difficult and those things which are not difficult.
L'chein ta'aseh b'tefilos u'v'tishbachos. And therefore, ta'aseh, to act with prayer and tishbachos, I don't know.
Right. V'chein tase, and it should be done likewise, but tefillos in your prayers and in your praises.
Praises. V'hasitakol b'melosam umagamas in yan nehem. I don't know.
Okay, you should mehastakel b'miloson umagabas inyanim. You should look into their words and the context of their subject matter. For example, right, we see the second bracha of Shmona Esrei, right? So that's a bracha. It's called Gevuros, and the bracha is Messiah Mechayim Mesim. Hakadosh Baruch Hu Kata Hashem Mechayim Mesim. So, do we really know what that means? I mean, we've been saying those words for a good long time now, Baruch Hashem. Right? Do we ever really look and try and understand what that whole concept's all about? So, unfortunately, many of us just are satisfied with understanding the what the words are, not exactly what understanding the whole topic, but that's the job that we have to do. Have to look into it a little more deeply, maybe even a lot more deeply.
Right. Today should tihiyah, in order that it should be.
Right, it should. Kadesh Shitiyeh, right, it should be. Be'ez, right?
Be'es shetidaber bahem lifnei Elokim. A time to speak of them before Hashem.
Well, it should be, we should look into their words and their context and their meanings, in order that at the time when we're speaking these things in front of a Kadosh Baruch Hu,
Yoda
right?
ma.
HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows if we know what we're talking about, right? When he
Right.
says these guys, what they're talking about.
So we should know which we are. What does Shemot say?
Right. Lashona. We should know what our tongues are saying.
Our tongues.
right? Kadosh Baruch Hu's everyone's saying all these words, and Kadosh Baruch Hashem might be saying, wow, these guys don't know what they're talking about. Not one of them looked into what they're saying. Like, it's not like, your Shmona Esrei is not like going to the pharmacy. You stand online, you give them the prescription, and you don't know what's going on. We don't know what it means, what it is. The doctor said take this. So that's good for doctors and pharmacists, right? Just
Well,
take a
hopefully it's good
prescription.
for you too.
It might be better. You don't know what's going on, right?
You don't have to.
If you knew, you may want to take it.
Right.
So uh, that Scheinberg Zechon Baruch used to say, this is something from earlier generations, and that wasn't the Rosh Yeshivas. He heard it in Europe probably, that you have a certain philosopher, right? And of course, being a philosopher, he wanted to understand everything that he did, right? Which is okay, so it's to a certain extent. Um, so the only problem was one day he became ill, and the doctor gave him a certain prescription, and so being a philosopher type, he wasn't interested in taking the prescription until he understood it. But unfortunately, by the time he got to close to understanding it, it was too late for him. So
Mm.
sometimes, the doctor says take the paper to the pharmacy or whatever you do these days. That's the way it used to be. I don't know what you do now, and you just get what you're supposed to do, and they give you the directions. You take it. But tefillah is not that way. Tefillah is something we're supposed to be asking for earnestly and honestly, and that's not exactly going to work if we don't understand what we're really asking for. So just using that one example, Tchias Amesim, right? So yeah, okay, Tchias Amesim, revival of the dead. Well, that's a pretty that's a pretty heavy concept, right?
Yeah.
And but maybe it deserves a little bit more investigation. Now that we're more than 9 or 10 years old, when we were first taught to pick up a siddur and read about it. So yeah, takes a bit of a reevaluation of things.
Min ha milos uma she mivakesh levad be'inyan. From the words hamilos.
Right, and what ma berakish libcha be'inyan? What in fact are we asking? What are our hearts asking from these things that we're saying? Right? I mean, when we respond to a Kadosh Baruch Hu, well, see, Geburos is not such a great example. Geburos, because that's really schwach. It's not. We're not really asking for tchias amazing, but let's say, for example, that we were, right? So if we were asking for tchias amazing, like would pay to know what we're really asking for, right?
Right. Baal uh uh tinag b'chol zeh ki min chag gimei ha-ni'aros, and do not uh tinhag is to become accustomed,
We should not be accustomed. Rather not, we should not present tense.
should not be accustomed in with all of this, like the customs uh of the days of hana'aros, of our youth.
Right. Now that you're an adult, right, you shouldn't be accustomed to behave in the same ways you were accustomed to behave as you were when you were a child.
Shitamar min hamalos bilashon cha ma sheyiz daman lecha va'al eze derech sheyiz daman ve'e nach yodea ha'anin. Shitomar, that you should say min ha malos with your words, and your language. What's this word? Sheyiz daman.
Used a man that like what happens to come to really means like what happens to come to mind, what happens to occur.
That which occurs to you, and concerning this path, that occurs to you,
Right.
and you should not know the subject. No, that doesn't make sense. The enach. What is the enach?
And you do not Yodea Ha'inyan, you right, and you don't know the you don't know the point. You don't know the point that's being made here.
Oh, so that's what it means.
So basically this paragraph is simply pointing out that we need to have an evaluation and a reevaluation of what we've learned, and especially when it comes to our prayers, since we're asking certain things from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we shouldn't be behaving with these requests from HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the same way we were accustomed to do as when we were younger. We have an obligation to to upgrade our understanding of what we're asking from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, so it's a more mature and honest understanding of what we're asking for. Okay, maybe it's a good spot to stop.
Okay.
Let's take a short break and we'll continue with Mr. Brewer. Also, we'll continue on with Haley Vav.
Should we take a break, Rabbi, or we only have 12 minutes? Maybe we should just continue.
Okay, good. Okay, fine, good. Okay.